Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of What's in this week's Oban Times, with me, Owen Wild.
Me, Kathy Griffiths.
And me, Sandy Neal.
It's been busy this week in Oban Times Towers, and the paper is stacked to the brim with plenty of stories for your reading pleasure. If you want to share your stories or photos with us, you can do so by emailing editor@obantimes.co.uk or calling us on 01631 56 8000. You can also follow and message us on Facebook. This week has seen some big moves in Oban's business world. A new tenant has finally been confirmed for the former W.H. Smith store on George Street, and there's been some movement for Oban's shuttered cinema. Sandy, what's happening there?
Thank you very much, Owen. Well, yes, Oban's once community-owned Phoenix Cinema, which closed and went into liquidation last year, has been bought. But by whom? And how much for? You can find out in this week's Oban Times. In the Lochgilphead Times, a petition has been launched as frustration mounts at reduced bus services in Fort William. Highland Council has agreed to increase council housing rent by 8%, despite concerns of the impact on tenants. And in the Argyllshire Advertiser this week, plans to charge a £100 annual fee to use small boats in Loch Fyne will deter visitors and have a huge impact on local economies, warns Tarbert Harbour Authority. Plus, we look at the plans to revive Lochgilphead's fortunes.
Thank you very much, Sandy. More headlines from me. 2 runners from Mull have completed their Run the Month challenge for Prostate Cancer UK, raising over £6,500 in the process. Helen Dewar and Andrew Noble both made a cracking effort, and Andrew's doing a final push this weekend, a half marathon between Craignere and Fishnish and then back again, and he's going to be dressed as the Joker. So, Kathy, what have you been working on this week?
Well, we've been finding out that ACCA, the social landlord, has 14 people on its housing waiting list on Coll. But it seems nothing is happening fast on the remote island, despite the shortage of homes and a potential development plot or 2 waiting. The will and interest is there, but alas for now, the funding to help is not. And nearly £3,000 has been raised so far to help prolong the life of a Lochgilphead woman's terminally ill pet. Show Cocker Spaniel Kobe needs another 20 chemo treatments, costing about £350 each. Although he has insurance, the amount needed exceeds his limit, so doting owner Karen MacDonald is hoping that a GoFundMe page can help. You can read more about Kobe in this week's Argyllshire Advertiser and online at www.westcoasttoday.co.uk. And badminton players were making a right racket. Get it? I do love a good pun. At Atlantis Leisure Centre on Saturday, when 60 players from across our region took part in the 75th Argyll Cup, one of Scotland's longest running tournaments of its kind. And it was there that I met Kilmore couple Liz and Roy Clooney, whose courtship blossomed on a badminton court over a game of mixed doubles more than 40 years ago. All together now. Well, I know. It is Valentine's Day next week, so you can forgive me for that little bit of, romantic fluff. There we are.
Thanks, Kathy. Well, that's all we have time for this week, folks. Make sure, as always, to pick up a copy of the Oban Times in all the usual retailers and come back next week for another episode. For now, it's goodbye from me, Owen Wild.
Goodbye from me, Kathy Griffiths.
And goodbye from me, Sandy Neal.
Bye.
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 Hey.